persistence gives character to your life. No. Because life will throw you curveballs.
Today's guest is a superstar, at least in my eyes. He's a doctor, a human anatomist, and he writes daily on his Medium page.
As an ICU doctor, critical care doctor, the reason I like ICU is because you act and you see the results immediately. You're not breathing well, I intubate, you're relaxed, good.
It's an immediate result.
Yeah, you're having an acidotic picture from your blood sample, we intervene.
And if you're thinking that's all, well, you're wrong, because he's also the founder of one of the funnest festivals in Kenya. He is the founder of Funkie Fest.
The first Funkie Fest we did, I was looking at the ticket sales and I'm like, oh crap.
But beyond all that, he's an amazing friend. He's patient, kind, understanding. Na ukimtaka, utampata. Yani, I'm telling you people, you don't need to move your calendar around if this person is your friend. Akisema mnapatana on Friday, you're definitely meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the tall, dark and handsome Dr. Innocent Ouko. What's up, lovely human beings? My name is Melvin and welcome to another episode of Cloud Stories Africa. Now, to all our consistent listeners, we had to take a strategic break. Anyway, we are back and it's gonna be bigger and better. Karibu to the show, man. Welcome.
Thank you.
Unasikiaje?
Nasikia kuna vitu sikuwa najua about myself. But nimejua leo.
Na leo umesikia. Okay, so here's the thing. It took me some time to prepare for this episode, but I had fun doing it.
Okay.
Because the first time I thought about you, I thought about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
The first time you thought about me?
Not like from an episode preparation standpoint. Hapana, nimekujua miaka mingi. Na vile nilikujua kwanza hata nilikuwa nafikiria wewe ni joker. Then nikalan wewe ni mtu serious.
Mimi joker. Hizo stories za titles achana nazo.
Anyway, so here's the thing. The first time I was thinking about you from an episode preparation standpoint, I thought of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But I quickly retracted that thought because when I thought about you, you're the most caring person I know. So I quickly took back that thought. Then I thought about the book, The Renaissance Soul.
Okay.
And when I was thinking about it, it was the kind of person who has so many interests, like a wide array of interests, dynamic in your curiosity about the world, and, you know, someone whose passions are always, I wouldn't say changing, but always evolving. Okay?
Evolving.
Yes, passions always evolving. And then I went to my assistant. Nikamwambia, you know, draft or come up with a story or a description of someone who's like this. Akanipatia the story of the river and the garden.
The river and the garden.
I don't think that's a true story. So here's the thing. If that's a story written by a human being, kudos, all credits to you. But if this story was developed by ChatGPT, kudos to Sam Altman. Because that's another level of artificial general intelligence. Don't you agree?
I don't.
Hey. Tushaanza kudisagree na ndo tumeanza.
Whether itabidi tuone hiyo story.
Aya, sawa. Let me break it down. So, the story is about a river. And during the day, the river flows steadily with perfect flow. And it's very essential. Because it waters people's gardens, it feeds the village. But also on its course, the river sometimes overflows and feeds wildflowers.
Okay.
And they grow and they are beautiful. And so this is the balance between the professional and the creative career of the river. What's your points?
Hey, sawa
Umesikia
sawa,
to your
nimeona
point.
vile kuna sema hivyo nilikuwa fikiria the Nile, how the Nile sometimes floods. Occasionally it's the reason why the irrigation system in Egypt developed.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining, occasionally kunaweza kuwa na in certain spots
Yeah,
to
where it's
flowers.
just, yeah.
Okay.
And it took me back to one of our conversations a while back when we were talking about the beauty of reading. So when I was reading this particular story, I was trying to imagine the flowers, their beauty, like purple flowers, red flowers, white flowers, some orange flowers, all of them wild. Like they're not grown in homes. They are all wild flowers. So you can imagine how beautiful that would look. Yeah?
I can.
You can. So it takes me back to that conversation we were having about reading and how the art of reading is being lost as opposed to maybe listening or watching content, because when you read, the world you build rises and falls at your discretion.
You are the director.
Yes.
Every time you take a script and read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get right into it. After that long story, acha tuanze sasa.
Hii unasema bado ni chat GPT.
Eh?
Hii bado ni chat.
Hiyo ilikuwa chat GPT sasa, that story. Yeah,
Okay.
so kudos to the creator and his team for chat GPT to the world. Anyway, let's get back to you. And with that particular start, let's talk about the balance between your professional life, your creative life, and the balance and the in-between of it all. Do you ever feel like you struggle with those personalities or torn between the roles?
No, not quite.
Because, okay, for context, you are a doctor,
Yeah.
you're a writer,
Yeah.
and you are a founder of Funkie Fest.
Yeah.
So those are very different roles in their making. Funkie Fest requires you to be creative. Even your writing requires you to be extremely creative. While your discipline calls for you to be
Methodical,
scientific. So do you ever struggle with that?
I don't, funny enough. See, where I work is in the ICU, so I'm a critical care medical doctor.
Yeah.
And ICU requires a lot of coordination. Say, umepigiwa simu. Kuna patient anahitajika usaidizi, rather they want the ICU doctor to review. But the moment umefika hapo, patient amecode, amearrest. And you need to coordinate the team. You need to have somebody record the timeline. You need somebody to ensure that we have good IV access. You're the one leading now the resuscitation, somebody to make sure that we have the tubes to muingize in case we need to intubate. I hope I'm not using too much jargon at this point.
No. If I can.
And you need a team that has everything on site, qualified, and they're looking to you to make sure that hopefully by the end of maybe say 2-3 cycles, the patient has been revived. And that is coordination, high stakes kind of coordination, because you're dealing with life. And Funkie Fest is more or less the same thing. It's coordinating a team of, because my team is also very interesting in a way, because mmoja ako with partnerships, but she's a scientist. There's another one dealing with the social media, and she's a psychologist. There's a person who's handling our links with how we can reach out to various personalities. He did. I think it was Mascom. Not so sure. I've never really talked to him about that. So we're just coordinating these activities, and I also have fun at work. So coming to Funkie Fest, trying to ensure that we're having fun despite the frustrations of coordinating it all. So it's one gelling into the other. I don't find like I have to switch personalities.
You remind me of someone by the name Steve Martin. He's a comedian. So he was a comedian for the longest time, and then I think he decided to start singing, if I'm not wrong. So what he said is, my singing, I hope it was singing, my singing is not here to compete with my comedy. It's just a part of who I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I look at it, even from my own perspective, because I know I had shared this with you, I really struggled with these two aspects of my life. In the sense that my job calls for me to be disciplined, very logical, otherwise things go to chaos.
Yeah.
And then Cloud Stories calls for me to be in a space where there's freedom of
Expression.
Anything can be.
Yeah,
And
discussed.
everything can be.
It should be
It
discussed.
should be. Exactly. Okay. So I'm glad to hear that. And then, so let me quickly jump to your medical career. Did you always know that you wanted to be a doctor?
Nope.
What happened there?
Hey,
Because, you know, you can't, I just feel like there are certain callings where you don't just wake up in the morning and you're like, nimeenda kukua daktari. So what happened there?
And I think the journey towards becoming a doctor highlights how I'm involved in so many things besides just medicine.
Yeah.
Nikiwa mdogo nilikuwa nataka kucheza golf. Nataka kucheza golf.
Okay.
Kidogo switched to volleyball. Then to basketball. And then football. Football, I was so invested in football. I knew I was going to...
sports.
Sports. Yeah. I knew I'm going to take my country to the World Cup.
Oh, nice.
I was so
You've
certain.
always been a go-getter. You've always been ambitious.
Mbaya.
Yeah.
Like, every team yenye tulikuwa nayo nilikuwa na make sure lazima tushinde. The worst to draw.
Yeah.
Then certain things happened in the middle. I'm so discouraged. And I fell in love with physics. In high school, kila mtu alikuwa anajua naenda kuwa engineer.
Wow.
Up until Form 4, when our biology teacher akaleta full skeleton.
Oh, I remember.
Human skeleton.
You've told me this story before, and I got so mad.
Yeah.
I remember I got so mad because it's bones. Like, who liked bones?
I loved bones.
I'm still angry. Anyway, ni sawa.
Yani walikuwa naleta hizo mabones wanazicirculate, like shika vertebrae circulate through this class. Nilikuwa na stay na bone moja for a while. Niko like, yo.
Fascination.
And it's strange because I don't think anyone in my class liked that topic. In that whole school, they didn't like that topic. So tukiwa hapo Form 4, in fact tukiwa Form 4 before tuanze KCSE, rumors started spreading eti bones inakuja. Mimi nilisikia bones nilibambika. Wengine hapo kwa assembly wako bana wanasoma
Unaanza kusweat the wrong places.
Maze.
Sweat the wrong well,
Plasma,
that's a story
plasma.
for another day.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think even though venye nikasema okay, maybe I might consider medicine. But I still wanted a profession where I would have to use my fascination, my passion in physics.
Okay.
And I didn't know how I could do that when pursuing medicine. Because yes, I was a fan of all sciences. I did all sciences.
Yeah.
But say medicine, nilikuwa na struggle kuwa convinced. And then results ikatoka, we passed. And the situation back home wasn't that good. So discussions ikaanza. Medicine versus engineering.
Yeah.
Kaambiwa mazee ukifanya engineering bado bana unaweza jipata tu kwa bundus. Sijui kama nimechoma. But I have some of my friends wenye pia wananiambia kuona. It's like the struggle
was it the work, like you won't find work?
What
was it about engineering that was just not calling to your family? Because you know that speaks to the influence of family and what you end up doing in your career. Because nikiangalia kama mimi, I went into BCom because an aunt of mine, she actually listens to this podcast. She did accounting. So she was like, look at this field because you have so many items to play with or so many specializations to play with. So I went and did BCom. So it just speaks to the influence of our families to what we end up doing in our lives.
It is. It's huge. Now, for my case, I had to imagine struggling for 4 years, rather going to the 4 years in campus, only to end up where we were initially. So nikaona, at the time, doctors, once you're done, you're being dispatched immediately, and once you're done with the internship, you're given a job instantly. So that was like a good full throttle solution.
Foolproof plan.
So nikasema, okay, sir, let's do that. I can imagine maze na give up kitu, because at that time I was listed among one of the top students, and our biology teacher akanipigia simu. Kaniambia, so innocent, what do you want to do? Kuna vile alikuwa anaongea alikuwa very articulate. I'm interested in engineering. Okay, so you should be considering MIT. Okay, MIT ndio. I didn't know what that was. I love that.
What?
I didn't know what it was.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So that's just how much I loved physics. And imagine this coming from my biology teacher, telling me to pursue a course that's contrary to what he used to teach us in high school. But nikaona, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll see some ways in which, because I mean, the human body functions in the constraints of physics.
Yes, you adapt.
Yes.
The human body adapts to your situation at that particular moment.
And funny enough, now I'm working in a place where, like ventilators in the ICU, those things work using physics. So it's kind of, physics found its way back. I let it go and it found its way back.
Wakudumu watadumu.
Love finds a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the journey to medicine. Now that you're there, do you look back and wish maybe I should have pushed more to become an engineer or more of a physicist? I don't know anyone who's only Sheldon. Najua Sheldon peke
yake. I don't regret. I don't like living life with regrets. When you Jay-Z usemanga, a loss is not a loss, it's a lesson. So regrets come from a point of pain, and if you feel like you're regretting all the time, it's like you haven't really outgrown the pain, and it hasn't taught you something. So I don't like living with regrets. Looking back, I don't feel like I would have. This path itself was ilikuwa poa kwa sababu I've met amazing friends. I have developed an interesting theory on evolution. I have started writing. I've inspired other people to write. I've met somebody very special to me. I don't think I would have met her if I didn't go through this. And the kind of ideas that I now have, vitu nataka kufanya. Ngojeni.
Tutaziona. I believe you.
So
I believe you. And the reason... No, go fast.
And inculcating physics in all that.
I love that. But the one thing that I know about you, and I've told you before, is your power of execution. And if you remember, a while back we were talking about this and people chasing their dreams and being able to not just dream and live those dreams in a place of dreamland, instead bringing them to actualization. And one of the things that I love about you is the power to implement. You're not just brilliant in your thinking, you have the will to execute. I don't know, that's not true. You're brilliant, man.
We try.
Yes. So I love that about you. So
naitanga dream reality balance. I'm not a fan of work-life balance.
I was just about to get to that.
Okay.
I see the way you're jumping the gun, but I was just about to get to that. You're writing. Because that's another aspect of you that I truly admire and I appreciate. Because, and I know I've mentioned this before. Now, guys, before we even get to this, about today's episode, I wasn't excited. I was embarrassed on my behalf. Okay, I was excited, but I was also embarrassed because this is the third time we are retaking this, right?
Third time's a charm.
that time is a charm. Hopefully it sticks. Anyway, so what was I saying? I was talking about your writing. So whenever I interact with you, whether it's face to face or through your writing, it feels like I'm the Elena to your Damon. And I've told you this before. Because you challenge my perspective. And not just on the surface stuff, from a deep level. You know? You talk about concepts, and I live there thinking, oh my goodness, I have never thought about it that way. And I love people who make me think that way. And that's one of the reasons I love Trevor Noah, because, you know, whenever he sits down and opens his mouth, it's like, oh,
is it something funny or is it something insightful? That, and you can't really tell when to come out.
It's a balance of the two. And so I love your writing because of that.
Thank you.
I love where you're talking about dreams. Let me actually try to get that, because I actually want to read it out loud, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and pull it out, okay?
Dreams.
Yes.
There's a
so
song.
many people have dreams, right? But not everyone gets to live their dreams.
There's a song I like about that, by the way.
Network opens up. Go ahead. Say your song. The network inachukua forever to decide that it's gonna work.
There's a song I used to like in campus. I listen to all kinds of genres. So, and it seems like all Kenyans had a rock phase.
A rock phase?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
So there was this group I liked called 30 Seconds to Mars. And there's a portion where it's called, what's the name of this song? City of Angels.
Okay.
City of Angels by 30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay.
There's like a nice lengthy beginning where they introduce some celebs, some are not celebs, and quite certain levels. For instance, there's Kanye West, and then there's a guy who's dancing in watu wamjui vile. But they're discussing their dreams and how they chase them.
Yeah.
I love that song. Love that song. So they talk about the flip side of dreams. There's dreams, and then it's like the moon. There's the moon bright side, and then there's the dark side of the moon, which people don't get to see.
Yeah.
So that's the flip side of dreams, where you might chase them, but they might not necessarily want to get caught. Okay. And it can be, but still chasing them gives you that
the innate satisfaction of being able to chase your dreams.
Yeah.
I see it in a different perspective, in the sense of, you know, when you're chasing your dreams and your dreams become a reality. So many people try to identify with that, or so many people are going to say different things. There are people who are going to admire you for living your dreams. There are people who are going to trash talk your dreams. People have different perspective on those kinds of things. But the flip side of it is not so many people are willing to work hard towards their dreams. So you see the bright side of the moon and the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
In the sense that people see the bright, shiny stuff, but how many of them are actually willing to crunch the hours, to put in the work it takes to make your dream a reality?
There's a concept where somebody says when you have an idea that you want to pursue, the initial stages is the passionate stage. And you can get really excited. But once you start getting into the thick of it, the details, the passion can win. The passion can disappear. Then it's called the naivety of the passionate. Like the first stages of it. Yeah. You're so passionate about it, but once you start pursuing it, you discover how difficult it is.
It is to actually push it through.
Yeah, so you give up midway.
So actually, one of my best friends tells me about that. So she's always like, Melvin, when you start pursuing your dreams, the passion pushes you. So you're going to wake up, you're going to put in the work, you're going to be focused. But then after that, it is the discipline that drives you across the line. The passion is only going to get you so far.
Yeah.
Otherwise, from there, you need for the discipline is what pushes you through. Now, I am trying to get this. Okay, so first of all, let me start. Your articles, when certain tribes try to read them out aloud, itakuwa shida because let me just no. Let's start with this particular one. So could you read the first sentence of this? Soma too, the first sentence, just read, because what?
On what basis was Alexander the Great given such an indelible title?
Yeah. Unaona vile us from the eastern region.
And the Rimbo.
We might struggle with that. Yes, but let's start with that particular one. And for anyone who doesn't know, actually writes on the Medium, and his page is called the one alternative view. So let's talk about greatness, because just before we get to the dreams aspect of it, and as the phone decides to load, let's talk about greatness, because I feel like ungenipatia hapo chini unaandika credits.
By the way, Melvin inspired that idea.
Anyway, I'm not pedantic about such things. I try not to be. But let's talk about that, because when I look at history and the things that are defined as great, and you also actually talk about it in the other article about chasing dreams.
Yeah.
When we talk about greatness and people who've gone down in history as people who were great, it's because their stories were told.
Cloud Stories Africa.
It's because their stories lived through time. So think about it, Jesus, Alexander the Great. When you think about people like Luanda Magere, the reason as to why we know these people is because their stories lived through time.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure even when Kenya was fighting for independence, there were so many other people who helped fight for independence.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Dedan Kimathi, but these are the stories that we know.
Yeah.
Because history is told from the perspective of those who remember that particular bit of history. So, and I know on that day we were actually discussing people like Hitler. So think about Hitler and Nazi Germany. Had Germany won, Hitler would probably have gone down as a great man. Hitler the Great. Same case to Alexander the Great. That's what I was telling you, the Persians. Do you really think they think of him as Alexander the Great? I'm sure they do. Macedonians do. They do. So when I think about certain things and the definition of greatness, for sure it needs to be of your own terms and your own definition of success, don't you think?
I like that.
Yeah.
I call it success by my own terms. Isikwe eti familia imekama imekushow, by this tunataka ukue lawyer. Tunataka ukue mode. Is that what you would want to do? Is that the kind of greatness you would want to be identified with?
Yeah.
If it's not success by your own terms, it will not be success to you, regardless of how big you become in that field.
Yeah.
If it's not by your own terms, it's difficult. Like somebody like Lionel Messi, for instance.
Yeah.
Messi, I have known Messi since I was in primary school. I've been following his track record since that time. When alikuwa 16 years old akichezea Barcelona. And he decided to stick with one team through and through. But when you look at some of the big names in football, wamekuwa kimove from one club to one club. Like, are those your terms? Sometimes they usually trade it. Yeah. And they don't really want to move.
But you also really, because in your other article, you talk about trends in dream chasing, right? You talk about chasing trends in dreams.
Yes.
And some people are fortunate enough that the dream you're chasing and the trends that are there, zinaambatana. You see? Like I was checking, in the next, I think 10, 15 years, the podcasting industry is going to be a 30 billion industry. And when I check my alignment to money, and this particular dream, zinaambatana, they're going hand in hand. You see? So sometimes you might be lucky enough that your dream is following the trend. So when I check someone like LeBron James, he's He's the kind of person who it's LeBron first, and then the other people second. That's success by his own terms, because at the end of the day, he's innately happy. He likes to make sure that at the forefront of it, I am at the forefront of it. Then nyinyi wengine mtakuja.
Mindo na show.
King
James.
Yes. Yes. So I think sometimes people are lucky in the sense that you're pursuing the dreams that everyone else is following. But I also like what you said in the sense that misery loves companionship.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when you go out of your way to chase your dreams, it can be hard to explain what exactly it is that you're doing to people.
It can.
Why you're doing it and the way you're doing it. Do you ever struggle with that?
A lot. Funny that you brought up that article. That article, I never imagined it would go, because it has gone viral.
Really?
It is. I'm receiving texts from people I never thought would ever text me. Getting subscriptions from all over. In fact, Substack sent a notification like, hey, say this article is getting a lot of hits.
I actually want to find it. I hope this network would work, because I actually want you to read that particular bit. Could you read this? From Trends Are Easy. Trends Are Easy.
Trends are easy even more because you'll find someone who shares the same struggles as you. Social proof is enough to convince anyone that you're on the right path. If everyone is doing it, you have saved yourself a ton of explanation, because every other person is on the same path. Dreams are then sclerosed. Sad to say that misery loves company.
I love that.
Article.
I love that particular bit of this article.
And you know the funny thing is, I wrote this article sometimes I find time, nikiwa job, once everything is settled. You know, working the issue, so I need to always be
bombastic side eye.
But once everything is settled, I try to actualize my ideas through writing. And I wrote this while at work. I was listening to Kendrick Lamar's mixtape called Compton State of Mind. And the first song is I Am Kendrick. And there he explains that I don't want to listen to how so many rap artists need to get a harmonica, a name for themselves, before, rather than just using their real name. So akasema, my name, I am Kendrick. This is the name my mom gave me. This is how I want to identify myself with. I don't want to chase trends. I want to follow my dreams. I want to follow them the way I want to follow them. And then I go like, And people don't know that song. They only know Kendrick right now. They don't know that song. Most of the Kendrick fans, they're really Kendrick fans from way back then. But some of those who've come to learn about him recently, they don't know much about that song. So he has managed to rise up to that dream which he set forward to pursue because of instances that he captures in that song. And I felt like I need to write an article about this. And how I usually write, I draft, and then I throw it into my draft cycle, my draft lists. I have like over 40. And then when that time comes, I now do the editing. And shared it. Yo, that article, people, it has been circulated. So I guess so many people who feel the same.
People feel the same, and I think it's because, again, going back to the concept of the fear of pursuing your dreams. Because when it comes to dreams, especially if I can even talk from a personal experience, it's not just about pursuing those dreams and them hitting a wall and failing. It's also about the flip side. What if this actually works?
That can also be scary. Yeah.
Are you ready for that level of success?
See, that thing sometimes... I told you that there's a theory of evolution I've developed. And by Kiona theory of evolution, I'm telling Darwin, like, yes, we understand your theory of natural selection, but have you thought about this? And imagining that I'm going up against generations of scientists who have built their careers off of Darwin.
That concept.
Yeah, minawambia. It's incomplete. This is how we can fill that gap and still explain natural selection.
Yeah.
That's from that theory perspective. Then there is now Funkie Fest. Term 2 was amazing. And then that's when I started imagining, this thing can be big.
Yeah.
Can be big. And that can be scary at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and again, also my writing. Sometimes I want people to hear my ideas, but I don't like the attention that comes with the idea, with people reading it. Some of my articles on Medium have been boosted. So many of them have been boosted. So it's spread.
And it's because sometimes the content is so many people resonate with it, because when I read this particular one, it really spoke to me. There are so many aspects of chasing a dream that just speak to so many people. And sometimes you might just be lucky that your dream is following the trend. And
those are the lucky ones.
Yes, those are the lucky ones. So let's go to your book, because that's another aspect that I love. And I'm gonna start with a challenge, because just as you mentioned, for me, I don't just look at it from the perspective of the scientific community, even the religious community. You're telling people, cheki, Mungu hakuumba hii dunia. So could you maybe just in a short way summarize your book for us? And then just answer me this question. Do you ever get resistance from people with regard to your book?
So the dominant comment I get from people about my book is they think it's about orgasms. But it's not.
yes, please, because again, I told you, certain communities tuna struggle na hizi vitu. Unaona mimi sijakubali kusoma anything that I'm just like, you take the phone, you read. Because the first organism in search of an alternative theory. See first organism.
CEO, say it is an anticlimactic. Hata mjafika climax mkisoma.
In search of an alternative
theory of evolution.
Summarize it for us.
So, for you to understand the theory which I put forward, I call it organismal selection. You have to identify the shortcomings of natural selection. Natural selection operates with populations. If there are no enough numbers, natural selection has little explanatory power.
Okay.
But for you to get to that many individuals in a population, there must have been a first organism.
Yes.
So much of the mainstream explanations given about evolution is with reference to populations.
Yeah.
But if we are only sticking to that number, that huge number, why do we forget that first organism? And that organism would, through surviving and reproduction, eventually produced so many after generations, then became a population. And then now natural selection can now explain how this trait got beneficial over this.
Yeah.
But what about the first organism? Because the first organism is in no way population, as we look at it from how we understand populations, natural selection cannot describe that.
That first organism.
Yes. And we can't even tell how the very first organism, how it came into being, whether it reproduced the way we think about it.
Yeah.
So the first organism looks at survival from a probabilistic kind of view.
Okay.
Probability.
Yeah.
Before you existed, is probability nakwanga between 0 and 1? Yes. Like probability mazeni kiapproach you dem atasema yes.
Ama atasema
no.
But kuna option nyingine, friend zone.
Unaweza kuwa maze ama unaweza kuwa church elder zone. Ile mwenye anakureach out tu kumpatia tu advice. Anyway, Between 0 and 1.
0 and 1. Okay.
Yes. So after 0, the organism exists.
Yes.
And then between 0 and 1, the organism lives.
Yeah.
And then ukifika 1, the organism dies. So we can look at evolution at this space between 0 and 1. And organisms are trying to postpone their eventual descent to 1.
To 1, yeah.
And that is how I build the theory of organismal selection. The beautiful thing is it can explain how organisms behave, and it can explain features of natural selection without yielding to the need for a huge population. Good example is some of the forces that I used to describe natural selection are things like competition, cooperation.
Yeah.
But the first organism had nobody to compete with. The first organism had nobody to cooperate with. So how do you describe such things? How did it evolve? But natural selection uses such terms.
Yeah.
Organismal selection doesn't necessarily need to do that. We can still describe an organism and see how it evolves without using such terms. But such terms eventually come up. So it covers what natural selection explains, but then goes over and above that. In summary.
Sawa, sasa since sijaelewa anything tumesema hapo. Since you know I was lost between 0 and 1, nikasikia sijui eti ukifika 1 hapo ndo mwisho tunaanza kuimba safari nimeimaliza. You know.
I know that song.
Now, so let me go back to what inspired you to write a book at such a young age?
Nilikuwa nasoma tu kusoma. So in our family, my mother is insistent on us reading.
You grew up in a reading culture.
I did. Alikuwa ananunulia. Mavitabu alikuwa ananunulia. Babysitters Club.
Yeah.
Mimi sijui kwa nini ananunulia. Uzuri ni alikuwa ananunulia nazisoma kwa hao ananiambia nisiende nazo shule.
Yeah.
And because others ningeenda shule wangeangalia.
Wanaangalia
wewe mtu mrefu hivi mkubwa hivi unasoma Babysitters Club kichoko poa. But I read all of them. Alikuwa naleta nasoma. In fact, I liked the Babysitters Club more than the books by Ben Carson, which inspire so many of my colleagues to do medicine. I'm not a fan of Ben Carson's stories vile.
Should you be saying that one?
Poleni.
Should you be saying that?
I read them.
On record?
I read them. I read all of them. And the bit that I liked about the books was how he also liked books.
Yeah.
So I liked that. Yeah. But other than that, I didn't really draw the kind of inspiration that people got from Ben Carson's books.
Yeah.
So it's not like I didn't like the books. I just didn't get mko inspired vile aje how.
Yeah.
I mean, the kind of things that inspired me are books by Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes, such things. Agatha Christie. You know, Agatha Christie is the most. She's sold the most books aside from Shakespeare and the Bible. It's Agatha Christie.
The Bible was sold.
Yes.
No, the Bible was sold.
The Bible inaendelea.
Do you know where the profits go to?
The publishing companies. So because I mean I'm an author, so I have to investigate. I have to research these things. The biggest publishing companies, Penguin, Simon, ingine sijui is pronouncing their biggest profits come from selling the Bible and children's books.
No, and you know, even in this day and age, you tell someone, I have a Bible in my phone, I could know you need a physical. But some businesses never go out of business.
And imagine Agatha Christie, I may sell to that extent.
No, but I was just telling my sister this morning that I really used to enjoy the kind of books that other people never used to. Because, you know,
Shikilia hapo. When you let me say.
You know those Reader's Digest. Do you remember them?
I remember them. Yeah. Na zilikuwa na brown covers.
Sometimes grey. So they get you na lock down on 3 stories that you really like the titles, and you just sit down and read. And I was just telling her, I used to love Sundays. Because I used to be in boarding school. I used to love Sundays. And you know why?
Why?
Because Sunday morning prep. it was mandatory, compulsory. Everyone has to read storybooks. So I never used to feel guilty. The other time, whenever I'm reading storybooks, I used to feel guilty because I'm like, hey, you're supposed to be reading social studies or science. But then Sunday morning, it was my time. Na nilikuwa class prefect. So nasema, anyone who's not reading a storybook, na kuandika punishment.
But it was a good thing. You want the cloud stories. But you know, that's a good thing. Reading, statistics are showing that reading is declining significantly. But this is data that imefanywa in the US. Yetu hatunanga madata kama hiyo mazee.
You know, the other day, I read an article that opened my eyes, but at the same time I was kind of sad because it was actually by Bitangendemo, and he was talking about data for developed countries and data in developing countries. So for developed countries, it's very easy for them to use data because it's gotten to a point where the data is predictable. Data in itself is supposed to be when you read data over a long period of time, it's supposed to give you a trend or a prediction of what the future might look like, correct? So data for developed countries has managed to do exactly that. So people know between January and May, people will be buying this particular item. But then for us, our income changes so fast that our data does not stabilize enough for it to develop predictability. So unaweza pata, last year people were buying bucket hats. Come this year,
mimi niko last year bado.
Wewe bado uko last year. So people wamesota, the economy is not as good, the government's change, political instability, you know, yada yada yada, everything that speaks to the economic stability of a country. So you find that if people were buying bucket hats last year, they're not buying the same products this year. So the data just goes, sure.
To the point in history.
Yeah, so he was talking about moving data from the systematic point of view of data to where data becomes productive. Can we analyze these trends enough that we can predict in this cycle of 5 years, coffee rises? So the productivity of coffee goes high. And then in this next 5 years, coffee goes down and tea comes in. Can we use data for such predictions? So
can be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
The good side is we can look at the kind of industries that we want to develop and make sure that we have a sustainable long-term kind of data throughput to give us the confidence to predict.
Trust the numbers.
Yes. But then there are other fields where we don't want that.
Yeah.
If right now you knew that Beyonce is going to release an album next year, ungeji prepare. But then we like the fact that she just drops an album.
She just drops it and we enjoy it and we like it. Yes.
You know, so in the creative side, the creative space, the unpredictability is kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
But if we want to develop, let's say, some productive side, let's say like the rate of development of cities in a country, then if you have numbers, then that can be a good thing. That
can be a good thing,
So it's a balance that we need to have, but I wouldn't want us to strictly have all the data that tells us we are going to do this. The data tells us.
Boring. Life would
become
boring.
It would be boring. Some spontaneity and the creative industry itself, it saves a lot of us as in civilization without the creativity bit. In fact, technology itself developed because of creativity. I like telling people science itself is very creative. No, mtu kiasi anafikiria, what if nikuwe napigia msee simu na on the other side of the continent? Is it possible? Talking about bana wacha jaba, hebu tuma huo msee messenger akimbia hadi ile side.
Yeah.
But it became possible. Without that creative bit, it wouldn't have gotten to where it is.
Science in itself is creative. I love that.
There's the person who taught me
Yeah.
the scientific method and thinking. He taught me when he was dead. So basically, he taught me through his books.
Yeah. Ni sawa, sikuwa
Kumerada, nilifanya hivyo intentionally. So,
unataka nikose kurada on record.
Hapana,
Sawa tu, haina shida. Ni sawa tu,
cheki.
it's okay. Nichome. Tuendelee by the way. Ni sawa tu.
Whenever I read books, I like saying like I have conversations with the dead.
Yeah.
They are not really dead. So the dead are patient.
Yeah.
They will take time with you. The dead try to be clear enough, and they do this through writing books. And you can take your time with the dead and pause with the ideas they're trying to convey and ask questions. They might not necessarily give you answers. They might give you answers later on in the course of the book, but the dead converse through books.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to bump into a book by one of the greatest philosophers of science called Karl Popper. Karl Popper gave a very good example of how what you've just told me about data. If you're to stick with data, assume you have a torch.
Yeah.
And umeiwasha. Alafu umeka barrier hapa. So that light will project up to this point.
Up to this point only.
But if we are to use the same data that we know about this torch and extend the barrier, we can predict how far this light would go if we push the barriers.
Yeah.
But that is not creative enough. The creative idea is somebody who develops, let's say, a bigger torch.
So that
now,
it sees beyond the barrier.
It can even overpass that barrier. That's another way of looking at it. Because when you're developing a new idea, you are breaking that paradigm.
Yeah.
Before Newtonian gravity, there was gravity according to maybe...
We don't know them.
We don't know
Their
them.
stories never got told.
But how the planets were moving, there was Tycho Brahe. Tycho Brahe believed that planets were moving in circles. And then his student, Johannes Kepler, akasema maze circles, no, not necessarily. Because circles fall within the class of ellipses.
Yeah.
And then I could develop something, and then it became really predictable to know that Earth will be here, Mars will be here, two bodies.
Yes.
That's kind of gravity.
Yeah.
Then somebody came and started poking holes. This guy who apparently somebody says that alikuwa vajo paka dedi. When aliona Apple ikidunda. We're talking about Newton.
Yes.
So Newton akakam akasema, we're looking at just planets. What about this apple?
Yeah.
We don't know whether the story is true or not. Then we developed the Newtonian.
Point, did Newton know that he was smart? Had he gone to school? That's the one thing I would want to know. Like, by the time he saw the apple falling and he was like, okay, fine, let's explore another concept.
But he was in Cambridge. Alikuwa Cambridge. Alikuwa ameenda shule.
No wonder.
Alikuwa Cambridge.
No wonder. So unaona, acha midhweni nikwambie. Here's the thing about dreams and opportunity, you know, where inasema preparation meets opportunity. Had he not been in school, I don't think he would have gotten such an idea for such a concept.
That's another sad thing, by the way.
Yeah. Because opportunity needs to be met by preparation.
Yeah. And now for those dreams, when you're chasing them, you prepare yourself for when the moment is right.
Yeah.
For that snap for you to take off. Like, had Einstein not read the works by James Clerk Maxwell, is another guy who fused electricity and magnetism to develop electromagnetism. He wouldn't have been prepared to see just how great relativity would have been.
Yeah.
And these advances are through poking holes at that barrier.
Yeah.
And that creativity you can never predict.
Yeah.
And it's in science.
Yeah.
So science itself has creativity.
Yes.
It's Newton saying that F, there was an equation, I'm not so sure if what one
no, please.
It's a simple equation.
No,
Ngoja.
Excuse me.
Sawa.
Excuse me. Tena mambo ya equations.
Sawa, nimeachana na equations.
We bana.
But can you see acceleration?
Yes.
You can see acceleration?
Yes.
You cannot. Unaona acceleration
we
aje?
Bana, acha nikuulize, nikiona hivi gari ina speed, shwa, imeingia kwa gari ingine. Kwani mimi sijaona acceleration?
Umeona iki accelerate, but unaona acceleration.
So basi.
So basically, such concepts, they're so abstract.
Yeah.
But somebody thought, why don't we start this idea?
Yes.
You know, it's creative.
Let's try to find a way to determine the acceleration.
Yeah, and calculus can develop.
So let me try and tie all this because unajua tumeenda story mingi sana na kitu wenye tulikuwa tu tunajaribu kusema is we don't know if in Africa people still read.
Oh, tulianza hapo.
You know, that was the point. Anyway, I love where you said that for us to be able to, creativity doesn't necessarily mean the spark of new ideas. Even the greatest of people, they borrowed from the people before them. So allow me to digress for a minute and talk about artificial intelligence.